The latest, Oregon keeps Pac-12 unbeaten, gets to Sweet 16. The latest on the NCAA tournament, all times Eastern. 9:35 p.m. Oregon has won a tight game against Rhode Island, earning a ticket to the Sweet 16 and keeping the Pac-12 undefeated in this NCAA tournament. Next up for the conference is 11th-seeded Southern California, which is in a tight game with number 3 seed Baylor in the tournament's East region, with about 8 minutes left. The Ducks had to rally in the second half to get their win on Sunday. Tyler Dorsey hit a contested go-ahead three-pointer in the final minute. The Pac-12 now has two teams in the regional semifinals, Oregon and Arizona, with Southern Cal on the floor and UCLA still to play Sunday night. _____. 8:57 p.m. King McClure has 14 points on 5 of 9 shooting to lead third-seeded Baylor to a 36-31 lead over surprising USC at halftime. The 11th-seeded Trojans, who advanced to the second round with a 1-point win over SMU on Thursday, led by as many as 5 points early on before McClure began to take over. The 6'3" sophomore hit all 4 of the Bears' three-pointers in the half and added a pair of steals. Benny Boatwright leads USC with 8 points, while Chimezie Metu has 7. The Trojans are trailing despite shooting 52%, 13 of 25, in the half, compared to just 42.9%, 15 of 35, for Baylor. Kurt Voigt reporting from Tulsa, Oklahoma. ____. 8:42 p.m. After 11th-seeded Rhode Island closed the first half on a 14-2 run for a 46-38 lead over third-seeded Oregon at intermission, Bob Hurley was lost for words. Just a plain proud father moment, indeed. Hurley is watching son, fifth-year Rams coach Dan Hurley, as the program returned to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 18 years and won its first game against Creighton for Rhode Island's first NCAA victory since reaching the 1998 Elite Eight and losing to Stanford. "This is why the tournament is so great," Bob Hurley said. "It's very difficult to describe." His other son, Bobby, had to return home from Sacramento to the desert to host recruits as Arizona State's head coach. Janie McCauley reporting from Sacramento. ____. 8:20 p.m. The Atlantic Coast Conference finally has a team in the Sweet 16, barely. After blowing a 17-point lead, number 1 seed North Carolina came from behind in the second half to beat Arkansas 72-65 and advance to the NCAA South Region semifinals. North Carolina next faces Butler. The ACC had 9 teams invited to the NCAA tournament, but 7 of them already have lost. The ACC still could get a second team into the Sweet 16, as Duke faces South Carolina later tonight. North Carolina also avoided becoming the second number 1 seed to exit this tournament. Defending national champion Villanova, the number 1 seed in the East region, lost to Wisconsin on Saturday. ____. 7:43 p.m. Things are getting dicey for number 1 seed North Carolina. The Tar Heels led 30-13 after a dominating start only to see Arkansas battle back before halftime and now lead 55-53 with less than 10 minutes left. For the record, the Atlantic Coast Conference is down to just 2 teams, Duke and UNC. The Blue Devils play South Carolina here after the UNC-Arkansas game. While North Carolina struggles, another number 1 seed breezed into the Sweet 16. Kansas pulled away in the second half to beat Michigan State 90-70. ____. 7:37 p.m. Upset alert, Arkansas leads North Carolina 50-48 with 11:31 remaining. The Razorbacks have rallied to take the lead after trailing by as many as 17 points in the first half. ____. 7:35 p.m. As Game 1 between Rhode Island and Oregon began inside Golden One Center on Sunday afternoon, Cincinnati's marching band was putting on a show just outside the arena's main entrance before the Bearcats took on UCLA in the second game. A large crowd gathered to watch and cheerleaders also performed. Earlier in the afternoon, UCLA fan Paul Hale of nearby Fairfield danced solo to DJ music long before the big crowd arrived. "Old school, I love it," he said while shaking to 70s hit "Get Down Tonight" by KC and the Sunshine Band. _____. 6:15 p.m. Kansas led Michigan State 40-35 at halftime in their second-round NCAA tournament game. The score was tied at 27 before the Jayhawks went on a 9-0 run. Frank Mason, Josh Jackson, and Svi Mykhailiuk each scored 9 points in the first half for Kansas, which shot 50% from the field. Indiana the first 20 minutes. Michigan State's Miles Bridges left the game briefly with an injury. He was strong after his return and had 13 points in the first half. _____. 5:55 p.m. North Carolina junior point guard Joel Berry II will start Sunday against Arkansas in the NCAA tournament's second round. Berry suffered an ankle injury in Friday's first-round win against Texas Southern. Coach Roy Williams raised the possibility that Berry might not be able to play, though Berry said he was 75-80% and sounded like he planned to play. Berry went through pre-game shooting and warm-ups and looked fine. Team spokesman Steve Kirshner said Berry was good to go for the top-seeded Tar Heels roughly 20 minutes before tip-off in the South region. _____. 5 p.m. Kentucky's freshman came up big in the end Sunday. Freshman made big defensive plays to help Kentucky hold on for a 65-62 victory over Wichita State in the South region on Sunday. Malik Monk also made the final 2 free throws, forcing Wichita State to take a three-pointer before the buzzer. But Landry Shamit's shot was blocked. The Wildcats advanced to the Sweet 16 in Memphis. Wildcats coach John Calipari coached Memphis, even leading the Tigers to an NCAA tournament final in 2008, before leaving for Kentucky. _____. 4:30 p.m. Kentucky freshman Bam Adebayo took a nasty spill on his back and stayed on the ground briefly just before the second-to-last media timeout. Indianapolis. After a few moments, Adebayo got up and walked to the bench. Wichita State's Shaquille Morris was called for his third foul with 7:46 left. Kentucky was leading 48-44 at the time. _____. 3:38 p.m. Kentucky and Wichita State are tangled in a physical game with the Wildcats up 26-24 at halftime in Indianapolis. The second-seeded Wildcats are shooting 33% from the field, and the Shockers 30%. Bam Adebayo had 15 points and 18 rebounds in Kentucky's opening win over Northern Kentucky, but he's been held to 2 points and 5 rebounds. It's far different from their second-round game 3 years ago, which was wide open and ended with the Wildcats winning by 2. _____. 2:30 p.m. Michigan's 73-69 upset of Louisville exemplifies the role reversals between the Atlantic Coast Conference and Big Ten this postseason. The ACC led all conferences with 9 NCAA tournament invitations and was billed as the best league in the nation this season. The Big Ten had a disappointing regular season and had none of its teams seeded higher than 4th in the NCAA field. Yet the Big Ten already has sent 3 teams to the Sweet 16 with Purdue, Wisconsin, and Michigan advancing. In the meantime, the ACC doesn't have any regional semi-finalists yet and is down to just 2 teams left in the tournament, North Carolina and Duke. North Carolina faces Arkansas and Duke meets South Carolina later today as the 2 traditional ACC heavyweights chase Sweet 16 berths. The ACC's struggles represent a stunning turn of events for a team that had done very well in March lately. The ACC had 4 regional finalists last season, including Final Four participants North Carolina and Syracuse. The ACC also sent 3 teams to the regional finals in 2015, with Duke winning the national title. _____. 2:25 p.m. Michigan's amazing March tournament run is headed to the Sweet 16. The Wolverines trailed most of the game before pulling out a 73-69 victory over second-seeded Louisville in the Midwest region at Indianapolis. They'll face either Rhode Island or Oregon in Kansas City. Michigan was in danger of missing out on the tournament entirely before winning its final game in the regular season. The Wolverines had a plane mishap before arriving in Washington for the Big Ten tournament, then won 4 games in 4 days for the automatic bid. Mo Wagner had a career-high 26 points, and DJ Wilson made 4 free throws in the final 17 seconds to clinch it. _____. 1:10 p.m. Louisville has taken a 36-28 halftime lead over Michigan by hitting 3-pointers, something the Wolverines usually do. Donovan Mitchell and Deng Adel hit back-to-back threes during an 8-point run that closed the half. The Cardinals have held a small lead for most of the game, holding down Michigan's 3-point attack. Michigan made 18 3-pointers, a school record for the NCAA tournament, in its opening round win. But the Wolverines are only 3 of 11 and getting few open shots from beyond the arc. Point guard Derek Walton Jr. has missed 7 of his 8 shots and has a pair of fouls. _____. 12:35 p.m. Louisville is getting caught up in the coaching carousel as it plays its NCAA tournament game. Arkansas State has announced it has hired Louisville assistant Mike Bellotto as its next head coach. Arkansas State officials said Bellotto would be introduced at a Monday press conference. Bellotto has been an assistant on Rick Pitino's staff the last 4 years. He replaces Grant McCausland, who resigned Monday to take over North Texas program. This is one of 2 coaching hires to be announced today. Washington announced it has hired Syracuse assistant Mike Hopkins as its next head coach. Hopkins replaces the fired Lorenzo Romar. _____. 12:01 p.m. The Atlantic Coast Conference raised some eyebrows during football season by going 10-4 in head-to-head matchups with the Southeastern Conference, which prides itself as the nation's best football conference. Now the SEC has a chance for payback in the NCAA tournament. The SEC already beat the ACC once this weekend, with Florida blasting Virginia on Saturday. Today's action features 2 more SEC-ACC matchups as South Carolina faces Duke and Arkansas meets North Carolina. The SEC headed into the NCAA tournament with an 8-10 record against ACC teams. The ACC earned 9 NCAA tournament bids to lead all conferences, but it endured a brutal Saturday as Notre Dame, Virginia, and Florida State all lost by double-digit margins. The ACC has a chance to redeem itself Sunday as it brings out its heavy hitters with North Carolina, Duke, and Louisville all playing. Those 3 schools have combined to win 4 of the last 8 national championships. _____. The Sweet 16 field will be filled out in Sunday's 8 NCAA tournament second-round games. Number 1 seed Kansas against number 9 Michigan State features 2 top freshmen in the Jayhawks Josh Jackson and the Spartans Miles Bridges. Number 2 Kentucky against number 10 Wichita State is a rematch of the 2014 game where the Wildcats ruined the Shockers' 35-0 season. Number 2 Louisville vs. Number 7 Michigan play for the first time since the 2013 title game won by the Cardinals. Number 11 Southern California, which meets number 3 Baylor, tries to stay alive after starting in the first 4. Higher seeds were 6-2 Saturday. Number 8 Wisconsin bounced number 1 overall seed and defending national champion Villanova, and number 11 Xavier ousted number 3 Florida State.